Dippity doo.
Got that big Graham. I wish I had my Graham hat. I'd put it on.
I had an Abingdon one. I'd put it on too, but.
Lordy.
Oh, man.
All right, let's see. The communists used to say, show me the man and I'll show you the law he broke.
That's right.
There's a law. Every one of us break laws every day. And whenever they're convenient, they'll use them against us.
That's right.
Hi, I'm Melinda Krieger with True Point Bank. Cheering on local teams is a community tradition at True Point Bank. We are a local bank supporting our local schools, charities, and people. If you aren't banking locally, it's time to make the switch. Stop by one of our offices or visit us online at truepointbank.com. This football season, have pride in our local teams and bank local with True Point Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Abingdon and Holston make history. Graham enters into familiar territory. Welcome to episode 4.12. After the whistle, gentlemen, here we are meeting remotely today, so no free pizza.
No,
I saved a lot of money today.
Saved a lot of money.
Krieger gets me for about $100 every time.
I gotta make the wife happy.
Bring attention immediately to this toboggan that Mr.
Oh, yeah. Boys, I told you all along, I predicted the score 48-21. What was the score? 49-21.
Yeah.
49.
I'm just glad how tough that Mountain West. That Mountain West is so tough.
It is.
It be a AAA team left.
Hey, it still is the toughest district.
It is
from top to bottom.
It showed. Everybody's
You're playing that and you're wearing a Graham toboggan.
It still is. I'm just supporting the G-men today, but Mountain 7 from top to bottom still is the toughest.
Okay, collectively, I get that.
I guess.
I'll agree with you.
Hey, Tony Palmer even admitted it himself.
Yeah, I'll admit that. At least for right now.
Hey, but they are the Mountain 7 and the Southwest District champs.
You take Abingdon out of the Mountain 7 and there.
It still is.
Let's go with all the AA schools.
It still is.
And where's all them AA schools at?
It still is.
That's
still the most competitive. Hey, they all didn't lose first round like the Southwest District did.
But the Southwest District's carrying the trophy.
They didn't carry it last year.
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
All right. Well,
I can't even remember who won. Union beat them.
Union.
Yep.
On a quick pitch.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't know if that
was, get on with it.
I don't know if that was the final or not, but yeah, that little toss there.
I want to hear Tony Palmer admit that the Mountain West is tougher.
He said from top to bottom, hey, I talked to him Saturday. He said, man, I agree with you. I agree with you, man. But we know he's at the top. So
congratulations to Graham. If I had me an Abingdon boggin, I'd have me something Abingdon on too. All right.
Boys, I know one thing. Both of them's got 2 tough games coming.
Daggone straight. All right, let's talk about this real quick. Want to remember our sponsors: Buchanan Therapy Services, True Point Bank, Southern Gap Outdoor Ventures, Grundy Auto Sales, Patriot Outpost, Buchanan General Hospital, and of course, Bellacino's helped make this show possible. All right, last week's recap. Start things out here with you talking about that Mountain 7 team. Let's start out with Abingdon. Abingdon 28, Lord Botetourt 14. The monkey is off the back. Coach Ambergy and company got it done. Went up and beat Coach Harless and the group. What you guys' thoughts on this? Abingdon winning their first Special teams.
Not a surprise to me. I mean, I know how good they are. So, I mean, now this next one, if they win this next one, that might surprise me. But I do think Abingdon is where they need to be right now.
Well, it's the first time since 1979 Abingdon has won the region. So that's part of history. I mean, for Abingdon High School. And not only that, they tied for the most wins in school history with this win, 12 wins. And that was that same team in 79. So Abingdon
was that team in 79? Did that have Sam McKinney on it? Did he quarterback that team?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Sam was part of that or not. Could very well have been. I don't know about quarterback. That was Sam quarterback.
No, he was the quarterback. Because somebody from Grundy broke his touchdown record, Southwest District touchdown record.
Oh, was it you?
I don't know. I don't know who it was.
Shameless plug, Gary, getting that in. Real quick, Abingdon trailed 14-7 in this game. And right before halftime, I think the score might have been 7-0, whatever. Botetourt got the ball down in scoring territory. I see that. They got the ball down in scoring territory, and they had a penalty and a personal foul that backed them up, and they had to settle for a field goal attempt, and they missed it. And in a lot of ways, maybe if they'd have gotten that, field goal, it could have changed the whole dynamic of the game, but that penalty pushed them back too far, and they didn't.
I mean, Botetourt played well.
Give me a cup of coffee.
Yeah, they played well. I was looking at, of course, one of the you mentioned special teams. Special teams end up being the difference in the ball game. Haynes Carter caught a 52-yard touchdown pass, tie things up for Abingdon. But it was shortly after that he blocked a punt, ran it back 27 yards for a touchdown. And that put Abingdon ahead, and even Coach Ambergy alluded to it. That might be the most famous play in Abingdon football history.
That was a big play.
Yeah, because, I mean, that basically put them ahead, put the Cavs behind the 8 ball, and they basically struggled from that point on. A couple of interesting points picked up from that game. The last 3 possessions that Lord Botetourt had ended on 4th out. It was 4 down. They got stopped on 4th down. So I think his defense had to step up.
Who was it? Was it Gillespie? Is that the kid's name that plays for Abingdon? What's the the defensive lineman? He was in the backfield. He made some big plays for him, and I can't remember.
The big 55.
Yeah, what's his name?
He got the brother that went to William and Murray last year. Yeah. They were brothers.
He made 2 big plays. I think it could be. Oh, I thought it might be Gillespie. Does that sound right?
That name sounds familiar, but I'd be afraid to say. I know that Coach Harless, he's an old Abingdon guy as well as himself, and he so it had to be a little bit bittersweet, seeing Abingdon do something but at his expense. Was probably pretty rough, but they've owned Abingdon the last 4 or 5 times they played them.
Oh yeah.
So Abingdon, they've been struggling to get past his hump for a long time.
Well, another big play was when it was 3rd and long, and Lambert threw that 61-yard touchdown pass.
Yep. Well, that was the Carter kid that caught that.
That was a big throw, big catch right there. That was a big turning point.
Bulls, they got it all. There's no weak spots with them. I told you, they got a running game, a passing game. The defense is solid. Special teams, they're where they need to be.
Well, Malik Hamilton.
We're going to win it.
Yeah, Malik
Hamilton going to win it.
100 yards rushing, 25 carries, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty solid considering who they were playing.
And it's pretty unfortunate who they're playing this week.
Well, there you go. Now they're playing Liberty Christian Academy, and they're going to play the game at Mitchell Stadium at Liberty, which is, a great facility to be playing the game on. It's in Liberty's backyard. It's going to be probably a really good atmosphere. When I say in their backyard, literally a couple hundred yards from the school.
Who's playing at Liberty?
Liberty Christian.
So I don't know. We'll get into talking about that a little bit later on here in the show, because that's one of our things on our topic. But let's give Abingdon credit, man. They're one game away from state finals, but boy, it's going to be a darn tough one. Next on our 1A here, we got a new region. Well, I'll say we got new region champs. We got the same region champs back to back. Holston Cavaliers, 24-0 over Patrick Henry. This is the second straight Region D crown for Holston. They're 13-0. I think PH falls to 9-4 or something like that with the loss. What do you guys think about that game?
You all said it was going to be close.
No, we didn't. It was a shutout.
It's another shutout for the Holston defense.
I mean, what they give up all year?
I read them off last week. Nobody scored more than 16 points against them, or 17.
Well, the first team defense has only give up 6 points all year, supposedly. That's what I was told.
That's impressive, man, if that's the case. Well, PH is going to run the ball, that, but the fact they was able to keep PH out of the end zone 4 quarters is pretty impressive, because the Beeson kid runs like a beast. And, they were able to keep things contained here. But interesting things about that game. First possession of the game, PH took the ball and drove 80-some yards, 17 plays, got inside the 10, turned it over on downs, and never got close again.
Yeah.
It's not Gillespie. It was Sturgill.
Sturgill.
The guy that was making those big plays.
The same stuff.
Holston turns right back around after, giving up that big play and put together one of their own, scored, and for the most part, it was all Holston after that. Holston's defense must be the real deal. Their offense, they share the wealth real good. What do, hit your elbow?
Yeah, that dang it.
I've got some numbers here. Griffin Hall hit a 28-yard field goal with 40-some seconds left to go before the half, give Holston a 10-0 halftime lead. PH, you stop and look at it, they've scored like 80-some points, 85 points, I think, the last 2 games. They scored 0 in this one. PH had 140-some yards of offense. They've been averaging 300 or 400 yards of offense. So, I mean, all you got to do is look at the stats, even if you weren't at the game.
All I know is they go and play the Hoagie Heagie killer next week or this week.
Galax.
Galax has dominated the Hoagie Heagie.
Holston 13-0, playing Galax 10-2. We'll talk about that in our prediction segment. All right, let's get on to the next game, Mayor. Coach Tester had his bogging on, sporting it. Graham 49, Ridgeview 21.
I need to put it back on.
Ridgeview jumped out 14-0, and I was getting text messages from people telling me that looked like Ridgeview might be going to take it. Did you get that same message, Coach Krieger?
I did, but I hadn't. Is that fake news?
They hadn't gave the ball to Bradshaw yet.
That's what it was. Well,
when did they give it to him? He score?
Yeah, he scored a bunch. But the Blevins kid had to come off the bench. My understanding was he didn't start the game, or either he did start the game and got hurt. I'm not sure. You know what?
He started the game. He got hurt.
Had a hematoma on his calf or whatever, and he was very uncomfortable. But
they get that wart medicine will get that off.
I had an uncle that used to be able to buy warts. Did y'all ever have that happen? Give you a quarter for you give him he'd give you a quarter for your wart, and 2 days later.
I thought the hemoglobin was in your brain.
Hematoma.
Oh.
We'll not get into the science or the biology of this. But anyhow, the Oakwin kid starts out red hot for Ridgeview, 2 touchdowns. He ended up for the game 196 yards passing. He was 7-8 on that first drive, 73-yard drive. Ridgeview looked like they was going to take control of the ball game, and then all of a sudden the Blevins kid comes back into the ball game
and throws it to Bradshaw.
What I think happened was that I thought that Graham's defense adjusted well. They were doubling the Beavers kid and really didn't need to double him. No disrespect to him, but Graham had the athletes to match him, I think. And when they were doubling the Beavers kid, it was leaving other kids, open. And Graham just went back to what they did, and they put an extra lineman in there and got pressure on him. And
I think that was the key.
Forced some turnovers.
Yeah, they added an extra down lineman, started getting more pressure up front. O'Quinn wasn't able to just stand there and pick them apart.
And he made a couple of freshman mistakes. I guess he was trying to make a play. You can't blame him. He was in trouble back there, about to get sacked, and he kept trying to make a play, and they stripped the ball from him on about the 10-yard line. Set Graham up.
I don't think it's the last time you're going to see him in a regional championship game.
No.
It's that kid's tough. Graham was able to kind of contain him after that, but once Blevins came in, Blevins does it with his legs most of the time. He didn't do it with his legs this time. I mean, he probably, created some stuff, but he passed the ball.
Right.
And hang on a second, fellas. I'm getting a message here.
Take their picture retake and please report to the auditorium at this time.
More, you need your picture taken.
All right, I'll delete that. All right, so the key thing here for Graham, Graham had a 21-point second quarter and a 21-point third quarter, and it was pretty much because of the Blevins kid coming in. I probably just picked kids. Everybody's kind of more enthusiastic when he comes into the game. Turner Bradshaw had a 12-yard run, 32-yard pass for a touchdown, a 51-yard pass reception for a touchdown. He had a 13-yard pick six. I mean,
Well, he'll probably go to LSU now.
You think so?
Well, Brian Kelly's going to LSU, and he recruited him to go to Notre Dame. So
it's going to be interesting then, isn't it?
I thought that Graham also did a good job of getting him, moving him around and freeing him up. He was in the backfield. He was in a trip set in the middle. I think they did a good job moving him around and finding matchups with him. Because they couldn't put their finger on him. They couldn't double him. He one place and all that. So
and that's a good thing too, because some people take those athletes and puts them back there in the backfield or put them at quarterback. You're just boxing him in there. I mean, people can game plan for that.
Well, they did put him in the backfield some, and they put him in. He was everywhere.
They moved him around like a chess piece.
Moved him everywhere else. I mean, that's what you got to do in these games when you get up in the region playing on Thanksgiving.
I still think Blevins, though, is the difference. Bradshaw's a difference maker for that team, but Blevins kind of makes that thing go. He can run it or throw it, and you can't take everybody out of the box for Bradshaw because they're going to burn you up with a run.
Yeah,
and the tailback's good for him. I forget his name. Is it Meadows? Meadows is good.
Get that Clements kid scored 2 touchdowns for Graham as well. I'm not sure if that's the one you're talking about.
I ain't talking about the big lineman, Brody. I thought he might have had a brother that ran the ball or something. But anyway, the back is pretty good too. So anytime you got Bradshaw out there and you got big Brody Meadows up front, you can run behind.
That's what I was getting ready to say. They got a couple good linemen too.
Well, so Graham wins the region, and now they're moving on. And boy, they've got a tough one. Got Appomattox looking at them.
Which Appomattox was scoring 60 a game or 70 until Glenver. They only barely beat Glenver 28-21. So, boys,
I think it's up in the air, man.
It could be the year to get them.
This is at Bluefield too.
Yep. All right.
No way.
That concludes, our weekly recap brought to you by Buchanan Therapy Services. Up next, we have our True Point Bank Peak Performer of the Week. And our Peak Performer of the Week is from Abingdon High School, Mr. Haynes Carter. He had 5 passes, 5 receptions for 93 yards, a touchdown. And probably the thing that made him stand out most was that 27-yard punt block that he returned for a touchdown that put Abingdon up to stay and helped them win their first region championship since 1979. So our Peak Performer of the Week brought to you by True Point Bank is Mr. Haynes Carter. All right, fellas, our Big Talk segment brought to you by Southern Gap Outdoor Adventures. Big Talk. We got two coaches playing in the state semifinals from Washington County.
Pepperoni from Bellacino.
I'm just glad it's not Bellacino's today.
And we got two coaches that have something else in common, and that's Coach Palmer at Graham and Coach Akers at Holston, in that both of them played for legendary Glenn Carlock at Graham. Tony, I think, was running back. What was it? 80. I'm afraid to tell you what year it was.
He's old.
88, 89, maybe.
89 on that 13-1 Graham team that won state. So he played for Coach Carlock, and then Coach Akers was on that 95 team that won state. And Coach Akers, I think, was a kicker. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
For them. So both of those guys have a little bit of a Graham connection, but Coach Carlock, there's a name that all of us know too well, especially Coach Krieger, myself, Southwest District stuff. Coach Carlock, his legacy lives on here through these guys because they're practicing a lot of the same stuff he did: discipline, character, do what's right.
You can't do everything that he did, or you'd get fired or be in the central office.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was in high school, I think it was 88 and 86, I believe it was. I remember at Grundy watching the charter bus pull up and those Graham kids get off the bus, and they had those blazers and ties on. And I thought, my God, this bunch takes this serious.
Was they shining?
Yeah, they look pretty good. And that's where I got the idea from. When I took the basketball job, I went straight and bought blazers for all my boys. We kind of emulated that. And I even let Coach Carlock know about it. That's probably back in about a year before he passed away, actually. And very well thought of, a very well respected name in Southwest Virginia football. And it's good to see some of his former players or disciples, if you will, still on the sidelines, implementing some of the things that he felt to be important. And I know character and doing what's right was a big thing with Coach Carlock.
Yeah, we coached we were coached by Glenn Carlock, disciple.
Yes, we were.
Dude.
Yep. Hardcore too, wasn't he?
He thought he was.
Yeah. Yeah. You tell him, man, he'd smack you upside the head, let you know.
I'm just glad he quit chewing that backer.
He made me quit wearing them Target socks.
Did he? Yeah, I've heard about Target socks when I was in high school. But yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. Another thing, another interesting thing going on in Southwest in the Big Talk segment, I guess you could say, is Abingdon playing Liberty Christian Academy. All right, Abingdon had to beat them in the Final Four, or was it? Yeah, I think it's Final Four basketball. Baseball team had to play them. And now here they are within the same year. They're going to have to play them in football. A lot of people don't like the idea that Liberty Christian is playing in this thing. What do you guys think about it?
Wouldn't that be like Mount Mission playing?
Well, yeah, Mount Mission.
I mean, they're a private school too.
Well, they're a private school, but Mount Mission is a boarding school, like Oak Hill Academy is a boarding school. Now, okay. LCA is not a boarding school. Okay. But you're right. It is a private school.
I mean,
it's not fair.
And you can, I mean, don't people, pay to go to that, or you pay them to come to you, or like a tuition?
Yeah.
Well, that's basically recruiting, right?
That's right.
Well, unless they just come out and say, "Hey, do you want to come here to play football?" That would be proselytizing or recruiting. So I don't think they're allowed to do that. But come on.
Do they got to move them in town limits and all that?
No, I don't know about that. That's
but you got to look. Pikeville's a independent school that people can come to.
But they also recruit.
They do. That's why they're still playing.
Well, I don't know about the recruitment. I can't speak to that because I don't really know with 100% certainty. But I do know that if you've got a private school and And once you get the program built up, I mean, it's
well, I know the way they do it. Well, I'm not speaking of some of those schools. You know, you got to have address and all that to move there, but you can apply to that private school. But just so happen, if you're a really good athlete, you get bumped up that line. You know, that waiting line.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well,
this
you don't play in the state Final Four in every sport, and you're not getting kids from other places.
Well, you know, people were saying this 4, 5, 6 years ago when the VHSL permitted this to happen. Now, if you guys remember, not VHSL and a lot of people throughout the state were very much against allowing a private school to enter into public school competition. But basically what happened was year after year after year of being threatened with litigation, they eventually caved to it and said, all right, we'll let you in, but you're going to have to play, you know, you're going to have to play 3A or higher. And a lot of people said this was going to happen, and here we are, you know. I mean, it is what it is. And I do remember when this happened in West Virginia, you guys, I think it was 17, 18 years before a single A school won another state championship in basketball due to all of, you know, of course, West Virginia put them in 1A.
Yeah, it killed Montcalm.
But you know, a lot of people are going to be critical of this, and the fact that it's, you know, they're doing well is going to put it in the spotlight, and probably going to see more people talking about it. I don't know if it'll change or not.
No, you're going to get these people to go out here and build their own private school just for sports.
Liberty Christian does have the #1 offensive tackle in the country, right? Too.
Yeah.
Supposedly. I figured the #1 lineman in the country would be in the Mountain 7.
Possibly.
Yeah. All right, so that's we can't solve this problem, but it is something that makes a good talking point, and I'll be interested in hearing what some people have to say about it, because I'd say we're going to hear a lot more about it.
I'm going to shut Krieger up a second on the Mountain 7. All I'm saying is the top 4 in the Mountain 7 can beat any other one at any given time. All right, that's it. Southwest District, top 4 can't beat any of the other ones. Maybe exclude Abingdon. Maybe we couldn't beat them because they beat all of us. But
yeah, but that ain't fair either. They got 1,100 kids.
Yeah.
Well, and that goes back to what we was talking about. I guess it'd be all right for Abingdon to complain about Liberty Christian, but is it all right for them to complain about?
I mean, they're getting district championship,
400 kids,
championships, and for beating kids with 550, 600 students.
Yeah, I get you. So it works both ways, don't it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for our Big Talk segment, brought to you by Southern Gap Outdoor Adventures.
Good morning, America. I'm Charles.
That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
There is a major incident in Lower Manhattan.
We just got a report in that there's been some sort of explosion at...
Good evening, and we begin tonight with the monster hurricane and its deadly impact already. And tonight, up and down the East Coast, authorities...
Up next, we have our Stump the CRIG segment brought to you by Grundy Auto Sales. We'll keep this one short and sweet. I've got 2 questions here. Now, we're remote, so you haven't even, there's no way you can see.
No, I can't even.
So we've got these 2 questions here. I'm going to let, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
You are ready. All right. I want to know the answer to this question. And by the way, these questions were sealed in a mason jar and placed in True Point Bank's vault for the last week, and was kept by armed guard and armed security. And if he gets these right, he can eat another jelly cream pie if he gets his question right. So we got a jelly cream pie riding on this. Are you ready, Coach?
Frat house.
What?
Frat house.
Frat house. That's the answer. Here's the question. Let's take a look. Frat house. Question is, what do you call a Japanese house that has been hit by a meteor? A frat house.
That's right. See? And I ain't even there.
Frat house. It's sort of like that fa ra 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 ra. Frat house. All right, you got one more here for you. Are you ready?
Freeze.
Excuse me.
Freeze.
Freeze, like shiver, freeze, right?
Yeah, like
okay, freeze. What Japanese dogs have on them? Freeze.
That's right. Freeze.
Freeze in the frat house.
Not fleas, freeze.
Not please, freeze. Got you. All right, Japanese dogs have freeze. All right, so we failed once again to stump the CRIG here, as we always do. We'll try again perhaps next week. Will we be here next week? We don't know yet, do we?
We will not be here next week.
Boy, the prediction is going out. All right, so here we are, Pigskin playoff prognostications, state semifinals. We're going to start with the first game right out of the gate here, Abingdon versus Liberty Christian Academy. Fellas, who's going to win this game? Coach Ted.
I'll go first.
Okay, Coach.
Abingdon plays in the toughest district in the state. So I'm going with Abingdon Falcons in the Mountain 7.
All right. You heard it, Abingdon Falcons. Coach Tester, what you got?
I know what they're facing, but, you know, I hopefully something can muster up here and we can get it back home. I'm going to go with Abingdon on this.
They beat them in basketball.
So, yeah, there we go.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pull them for Abingdon as well. I think
it's not going to be.
I think the game's going to be a heck of a lot closer than what people think.
Oh, Lord, Abingdon's getting blowed out.
But I think it's going to be one of them 4 or 5 point losses and a heartbreaking loss. And I'm going to pick Liberty Christian Academy in this one. But I'm pulling for Abingdon, but I'm going with LCA in this one. All right. What does Abingdon need to do to win this game?
Complete big passes, third down passes. I mean,
run the football, man.
That's what I mean. Run the football, get it, and 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, they're going to have to complete some third down passes.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have as many 3rd and shorts as they've been having. They're going to have to be able to get out of them 3rd and longs.
Yes.
In December, you have to run the football to win.
I agree. But you also, when it's 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 5, you have to get first downs. And sometimes you can't run it to get that.
And when
you can't get behind the sticks.
20 in the 4th quarter late, you got to be able to throw the ball. Right.
That's right. You got to be able to throw the football.
No, you just got to be able to run it to keep it out of their hands.
If you're down 26-20.
Well, if we was able to run it before that, keep it out of their hands, it wouldn't have got 26-20.
There you go. It makes sense. All right.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that aspect. You got to be pretty well balanced.
Yeah, I think you need balance this point in time of the season. Abingdon definitely has it. All right. So we've got 2 for Abingdon, and I'm going with LCA on that. All right. Next, we've got Holston Cavaliers, and they're playing Galax. Coach Krieger, what do you think?
Galax is the Hoagie killer. I'm going with Galax.
Galax. Coach Tesher.
Man, Holston has surprised me, and I really didn't know a lot about them, but seems like I keep going against them sometimes, and they keep winning and keep proving me wrong. But one more time, I'm probably going to have to go against them and go with Galax. I just don't see them. I don't see them beating Galax.
Boys, Holston has been to this game, I think, 3 times in the school's history, and they've never been able to win it. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be the result this time around. I think their defense is going to be more than ready. I just don't think their offense.
Oh, yeah, the game could be 10-0.
Yeah.
I mean, Galac's defense and Holston's defense, like you said, it could be low scoring.
I think what does Holston have to do to win? I think they've got to put high 20s, maybe even 30 points on the board.
Mm.
And that's saying a lot considering how well their defense played. Now, I may be wrong on this.
Well, how Galax hadn't gave up a lot of points either.
So it's going to be tough. Could be a battle of defenses here.
Galax.
Galax. I'm going with Galax also. So across the board, we're picking Galax to win this, right?
Yes.
All right. Our last game on the docket, we got Graham and Appomattox. Coach Esther, I see you're eager.
I'm eager.
Yeah.
Man, I don't think Appomattox is what they have been the last couple of years, but they still got a lot to deal with. They're very athletic in the back half. I actually talked to Coach Palmer this week, and he was just telling me a little bit about them. They're not as big up front, he said, as they used to be, but they're still solid in every position. I think Graham's a little better, and I think with it being at Graham, I think Graham squeaks one out here and goes on to the state semifinals. G-Man. Tommy, Palmer, Patron, gonna get that swag going.
State finals.
State
finals. There you go. State finals. He done won the region.
I got some
he done beat
breaking
the
news.
Mount 7.
Breaking news here on After the Whistle. Virginia Tech hires Coach Pry from Penn State. Official.
Defensive coordinator.
So there you go.
I like that Price guy.
I did too.
Well,
I did
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. He won the game everybody wanted him to win.
He did. And the guy's all in, man. He's a Tech fan through and through, ain't he?
Well, they said this cat played for Tech or coached for Tech back in the day.
All right, well, that's good. Familiar with it.
Yeah.
All right,
great G-Men. They win this weekend.
G-Men win. All right, well, I'm going to pick Graham as well.
I was going to pick Appomattox until I seen them struggle with Glenver. Glenver can't be great. I mean, I know they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But they gave Appomattox all they want, so you add some speed to what – and Graham, I think, squeaks it out.
I think Graham gets this one as well. I'm with both of you guys on this. I will say this. If Graham gets off to a sluggish start like they did against Ridgeview, gets behind they're in trouble. I think if Graham comes out and plays, this ball game's over with by half.
Tony's just going to – Coach Palmer's just going to call a timeout and say, all right, let's just get back to doing what we do.
That's right.
All he's got to say.
No, all he's got to tell them is, hey, we done beat everybody in the Mountain 7.
Yeah.
What we doing losing?
That's right. Said, I mean, what's that?
And then they'll wake up and realize that, and it'll be ball game over, right?
No, I think that I'm like Coach Tester. I think they ain't going to over. You can overcoach sometimes, and I think they're going to do what they do, and they win the ball game.
All right, so we're making the call here. You two got Abingdon. I got.
What's the defense coordinator's name at Graham? It used to be at Richland? Is it Snake?
Snake Palmer.
Yeah. I think he made some really good adjustments against Ridgeview early, and I think he'll have a good game plan, and he'll have to do the same thing here. So
he did it at Richlands for years.
Yeah.
Now he's doing it for the G-Men.
All right, so you two guys have Abingdon. I got Liberty Christian. All three of us agree that Galax is probably going to knock Holston off. And all three of us agree that Graham is going to advance to the state finals as well. All right, there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth, boys. All three of us. Guys, got anything else before we get out of here? If any of these three teams win, we will be back next week, correct?
Yes.
Correct. All right. If none of them win, we're done.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz. All right.
Chris.
Until next time, I'm Coach Moore.
Coach Tester.
Coach Krieger.
Reminding you, no matter where you go, there you are.